Welcome to Dance Specific Talks. This podcast is made for us dancers, and our goal here is to inspire dancers from all over the world to become better, both on and off the dance floor. We want to provide you with a platform where we dancers can share and learn from each other. So let me introduce to you your host for this podcast, Teaser, and remember as always, by dancers, for dancers.
What's up, party people, and welcome back to another episode of your favorite podcast, Dance Specific Talks. And you already know it's released from Be Fit and Sensual. I'm Teresa Allen, aka Teaser, and your host, truly. Today we are traveling all the way to Oslo, Norway, as we are meeting one of the biggest hip-hop dancers of all times. We are going to meet the French dancer, Niako. So what do you need to know about Niako? Well, he was brought up in the suburbs of Paris in France and has since 1997 started to dance, as he started with the style of breakdance. He moved on, and after a lot of injuries, he got into hip-hop and multiple different styles. He has not only been winning several Juste Debout, he's also been judging the world's biggest competition, Juste Debout itself. And he has been traveling all over the world. Today you can find him at dance educations as Substance and Flow Dance Academy, and also online during this pandemic. Today we're gonna ask him all about his dance journeys, his setbacks, his victories, his mindset, and much more. But first, you already know what to do. Click that subscribe button, comment, share, and don't forget to tag us when you are sharing your favorite episode on the social medias. You can tag Dance Specific Talks, and you can find us on YouTube, Spotify, iTunes, Facebook, wherever you want to listen to our podcast. And now, let's get it going. Button and say welcome to this interview, Niako. Pa, 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 pa.
Yeah, from Legend X to Norway, from Norway to Paris.
Ay, 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 from Paris to Oslo.
Oslo to France. I mix up everything. Yes.
You are a world citizen indeed. You have been traveling so much. You've been teaching, battling, and I have been trying to do my best research about you to get the best questions. So I hope you're ready.
Yeah, definitely.
So first of all, this is a very weird time. We're in the beginning of 2021, and the world has just been hit by one of the biggest hip hop loss of all time. My condolences for Bobson, the star from France who just recently passed. With that being said, I wonder what kind of impact has Bobson done in your life?
So basically, for us, it was like for me. I will say for us because, of course, he was like a bigger, important person for all the dancers in France and Paris, especially. So for me, the thing is that when I start to dance, I start with breaking, and one of the crew from France that I was really looking up to was Wanted Pussy. And that was like the crew where we could see like dancer doing like a different style on the floor as a b-boy and a different style stand up, because we were not so aware about like what was house, what was hip-hop freestyle at that time, and especially when for me as a b-boy, so when we saw them, they really give like a complete fresh hair to also this event that we call Battle of the Year, because it was only breaking there, and when Wanted arrived and did their showcase, it was like something completely different. And since like really I knew about Wanted Pussy since I started to dance, like really since I did my first breaking step, because one of my friend and teacher was like part of this place that we call Badland. um, he was like in the 77 district, and he knew about them, so he were showing us like some videos and stuff. So really since I did my first dance step, it was like I already been inspired by Wanted and of course Babson, Yuxon, and all the other one.
That is such a legendary moment to have, and what a inspiration he has been for the scene. What would you say, if you could take one personality trait from Babson that you will carry on to
Yes.
live with in your life, what would it be?
uh it was like truthful. I can say that, like it was not it never been fake. It's like if you like you, it will tell you. If you don't like you, it will tell you. But you will be aware aware that Babson is around. You know what I mean? It's like um, it was if he had something to tell you, I think we're gonna have to edit. So if Babson have something to tell you, he will always like tell you straight in your face, and you like it or you don't like it, you just have to accept it. You know, to just to tell you like a little story that we had like between each other was like that was pretty funny. Is that in 2006 I did the Just Debout, you know, and it was like a period where for myself, we felt like really marked the that period of hip hop. And at the end of this Just Debut in 2006, you had like Babson and come to me say like, "Oh, you dance really great today." So he said, "You dance really great today, but I don't like your style." That was like straight up, you know what I mean? So then after that, you know, I was the type of like really look up to my holder, but at the same time I was like, whatever. One day you're gonna like my style, so I just push myself to go further and be able to continue for him to appreciate a bit what I'm doing. You know what I mean? And luckily, it happened later on that he was like pretty appreciative about what I was doing. So I reached kind of a little goal around that.
Definitely, he was all about the growth of you as a dancer, and not just about the winning, but as a growing as a person as well.
Yeah, yes, completely, and yes, exactly what I was saying is that uh, at that period when for me was like a transition between being a b-boy to be a stand-up dancer. It was like a period in France that it was not about winning, but it was like also kind of proving, you know. So most of the time, and especially with Babson and Yuxon, because they were like Yuxon was one of my teacher and Babson was always around. We always have this place that we call the June, where we were like meeting and dance together. It was like a house party, and over there it was like almost every day that we've been there, we had to battle them. And it was like their way to make us grow, you know, and say like, okay, till that you can handle like a full party or a full cipher against us, you will not be completely respected. You know, I mean, it was not about like winning. It was more about like, what do you have? What is your luggage that you can bring on the dance floor and what you can express? You know what I mean? And it's been like this, like I swear, since day one and till today. Even we meet after years, and we will be on the dance floor. We'll be always like this feeling like, okay, I'm gonna try to push you and see how far you can go. You know, I mean, that was really the way that we could like have their respect and not just by winning here and there, because winning is just one day and tomorrow somebody like from nowhere will just come and beat you just for this 1 minute. But when you're in party or when you're in a cipher, it's like you have to prove for hours that you can be there, you know what I mean?
Your
So
sister was the one that first taught you how to dance, maybe.
yes, taught me it's a big word, but let's say that when I have my first contact with hip hop was kind of through her, you know, because you know I was really a little kid, so at that time it was not even like, oh, I'm doing hip hop or I'm doing this or I'm doing that, you know. It was more like, oh, I'm just dancing, I'm having fun on the music, my sister is showing some move, I can show the move at school, you know what I mean? So it was like she was really good in what we call hype in France, the New Jack Swing, the step that you're, you know, the old school, the step that we're doing on New Jack Swing music. So she was just showing me like some move here and there, and me after I was just killing myself in my in my room, sweaty, and my mother was coming like, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "No, nothing," and I'm like sweaty as fuck, you know. Uh, but yeah, she was like kind of the one that's introduced me to R&B, hip hop, and stuff like that, you know. But if we really speak about dance, like moving to the music, my mother was like the first one. She put me when I was kid on her feet, and she just taught me the rhythm, like 1 2, like this. So like I told you, let's say that I dance all my life, but I start to practice like breaking around 1997, 1998.
Yeah, and I saw that in another interview you're mentioning that you also went to an art school. You did multiple things within art. What was it with art that captivated you so much?
I was like I love drawing, so that's the thing that never died actually. So I love drawing, and at the same time at that period, I was like living like in the suburb, and I was like, okay, I want to go to Paris. I don't want to stay in the suburb. I want to see other things. Also because the place where I was living was not like crazy bad, but I could like end up following like the wrong people. I could say that like this. So I was really wishing to go like traveling already a little bit outside of where I was, So I decided to pass a test in an art school in Paris, and yeah, it was like there I could do like drawing, ceramics, photography, video, and other stuff. So I was really happy about that, and that was like also like the place where uh, I discovered dance. So I mean, it's like dance, like breaking.
Wow. Yeah, and then you also did martial arts. How have you like kept some of the martial arts with you in your dancing?
So that was kind of what's motivated me to dance, I will say, because I was doing martial art back in my suburb, and when I decided to go to learn to go to school in Paris, I couldn't continue the martial arts. So I really wanted to keep moving my body. And then when my friend Joel decided to open a dance club in the school, then I said like, yeah, I love music, I love to dance, so let's just do it, and then it's like this more or less that it followed. Then after later on, the thing that I had like being hired for different works and different jobs, and they always ask like, could you do like acrobatics? Could you like kicks? Could you do like this or that? And it was like always like a little extra to have like martial art in the background for dance. Then after in the general life, better not fight with me. Well, I'm not like the fighter type. I was doing martial art to avoid to fight in general and stay like calm, So no, it was more like I just love martial art and the discipline behind. Yes.
Yeah. But that's are some of the pieces, that build us up as humans, as dancers, that, make or break you. Some people are just dancing for a few years, and some people do it their entire lives, and you're wondering where their discipline is coming from.
Exactly. That was really helpful because, like, in the practice in martial arts, it was always about like you repeat the same move until that the move become perfect. You have to practice on the strength of your body, so like this you can handle the fight or the training. Then it was like stretching your body, so like this you know that you can be flexible at the same time powerful, and then after you bring that into breaking, and when you realize that is exactly the same way as working, because for me I always feel like for every hip hop dancer they should at least try breaking for a while. Why? Because the thing with breaking, it was breaking that don't lie. You can come in hip hop and say like, oh, I have a cool style, but in breaking you cannot say like, oh, I can do a freeze if you never practice like handstand. You know what I mean? So everything goes step by step, and breaking was like, for me, I felt like it was like a good connection with martial art, because breaking doesn't lie and martial art doesn't lie. You can get hurt at the end of the day.
Yeah, it teaches you pain too, endurance,
Exactly.
pain. Yeah. I feel like if I would ever go back to breaking, because I thought once upon a time I was going to be a B girl. And then
Uh-huh.
I realized that I had bruises all over, and I was like, this is not fun. So you appreciate other dance styles too after trying
Yes.
breaking.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Well, I love to listen to some, on your workshops and stuff, you're always talking about like hip hop is your lifestyle, and
Mhm.
it has been impacted everything that you're doing, from your work, from, your circle of people.
Of
Um,
course.
w- what is it with hip hop that just keeps you falling in love back and back again with hip hop?
Well, I can just take my camera and do it like this, and just say like, so we got the music, the love for the music, of course, Then after you end up at one point that you're like, oh, the love for doing music. Then after you just enjoy because you see like the art is so nice, like in hip hop, the colors
Ah,
and stuff like that, and that's kind of like already the first motivation for me was always the music. So sometimes it was like if you feel bad and you feel like, oh, I don't know what to do, I don't have like this motivation again, and sometimes you just end up listening one track or maybe one track that you loved and you just listen it again and you're just like, oh, it gives you back some fire and you're like, oh damn, I just love it, you know what I mean? But then after is also like having like different motivation also at different age, the fact of being a teacher, it also bring me down as well as it bring me up. I explain down because sometimes you end up maybe teaching to some student that just don't want to dance, they're just there because maybe their parents don't wanted to have them at home or whatever, and you don't feel any motivation and you're just like, what I'm doing that if people don't want to even listen what we are like giving them or saying to them, you know what I mean? Like if you are sharing and no one is there to enjoy what you are giving, is no point, and when you start to do that and you end up doing that while you are like traveling in different countries and you feel like some of them don't have motivation, they are just there for whatever, or just for, you feel that it's not like for the love of dance or the love of music and just moving to the music, then you can put you a little bit down. But at the same time, you can end up like having only this one student that will be like there and will be like with stars in his eyes because you are like giving him the possibility to move his body in a certain way or to just understand his body and how he works. And that student could be like my motivation for a complete year, you know what I mean? So like I say, it's up and down. It's depending of what and like where you want to take the energy coming. But for me, it's really like the music and also at the same time the surrounding, the people.
hmm. Yeah, I love that you're also saying that it's different chapters, because that also makes you feel like it's not, a lot of people just think it's a young culture and it's for young people. But like now we have grandfathers and
Yes.
husbands and, like we
It's
have,
for everybody. This culture
yeah.
have no age and no age limit and no parent handing dates. You know, I mean, it's not like okay, finish in 2000. No, it's like you will always have a renew, and it's really something that I found like really beautiful in this culture, in the whole culture, in the whole hip hop culture, is that we can take some inspiration from everything and from everyone, and we could say that the motivation, of course, starting ourselves, of course, but at the same time, you can always take this energy from outside, and this is important because it's a social culture, you know what I mean? So it's hard to be social with ourselves.
That's true. That's true. Another thing that I saw you say was, which of course is true as well, is that hip hop was born out of struggle, and we tend sometimes to just see it as like the happy party jam style, but it's actually born out of a lot of pain and struggle and all of that. We all have struggles. What would you say have been some of your life's biggest struggles, and how have you managed to overcome them?
uh, well, well, it have like many different degrees, you know what I mean? Like for example, one of my first struggle I will say is that, I was like a really shy person, and that's coming from because in my education, my parents, especially my mother, was like really strict. To not give details, but she was like really really strict, and that was like something that was like making me myself closing up, for a period. She always said that I love life, that I was a really happy feeling, but he always have like something that was blocking me, and it was like also in a way like this research of the improvement from the mother, and that was like yeah, that was like kind of a struggle after later on when I grew up, even for with women and ladies in general. That was like kind of a struggle, and through dance, this shyness, like uh, in front of the female side, and also in front of just being able to express myself and express my feeling. Uh, Dance really helped me with that, and also my sister, because she she was like, okay, like after, I don't know, after 4 months of me practicing dance, she said like, go to teach to my kids. I was like, what? Because she was working in a social center, and she just put me like straight in the fire. She said like, I don't care what you do with them, just have this activity together, but and really this thing like helped me to just go against my fear, uh, and pushing myself, like to speak through my body, and but at the same time to speak through my with my voice, because I had to make myself understand. And that was like kind of electroshock, because it really pushed me after for the rest of my life. It didn't disappear, but that was like already like a opening door to be fully like myself and expressing myself, and not just through movement. So so yeah, then after, the other struggle that I could think about was, I would say that was like the injuries. The injuries, like, for example, the first time I had like a crazy injuries was like on my knees. We were like having this theater show in Canada, and it was my first time traveling outside of Europe, and I was like, oh, that's crazy. And then I had this I just twist my knee, so I had like crazy pain, and my choreographer just come to me and say like, okay, you know what? If in 1 week you are not better, you have to go back home, And I was like, what? So I felt like for 2 days completely desperate, And you had this guy that we call Bruno. He called Shark. Maybe you heard about him. He's dancing in the 95 district with a Vice and Movementics. And Sharks just come to me and say like, I had like many pain. I had like many struggle too. I broke my knees so many times, but one thing that is important is that you really try to get back on your feet, take care of your body, go slow in your rehabilitation, and it's gonna be okay. Even in 1 week, you are not completely full recover, but at least you can be able to handle the show. That's gonna be okay. And then later on, you just take care of your body, and that was like a kind of a hit in my head, and I was like, yeah, I love dance. I don't want fuck up myself, but at the same time, it's like I need to take care of myself, and I can recover from it. We always say like pain is temporary. You can last for a day, for an hour, for a minute, for a year, but you will always overcome it. But you need to be like smart, and also uh, how I can say, accept it. You know what I mean? Not go against and say like, no, it's over. Like this is the end. No, the pain is there. I need to find a way.
Yeah,
And
because yeah, continue. Sorry.
yeah, yeah, and that was like one of the first one of the first experience, I will say, with a body problem. And then later on happened that I broke my hand. I had to stop breaking. That was really hard. That was a period where uh things were happening in my family, in my love life too. So it was like kind of a mix of many different things. I saw that I will have to stop to dance because I couldn't put my hand on the floor. And then I had the sentence of my friend Sharks that came back in my head, and I said like, okay, I will find another way. And but the funny thing is that when my hands recover, the same day that I start to practice, I broke my knee. The same day I was like, oh, I can put my hand on the floor. Okay, let's go back to breaking. And crack, my knee just blocked. It was like my meniscus. And then I had to stop for 3 months, so I could dance again for 1 month until the surgery, and then I had to stop to dance for at least 3 months. And then when I felt better, I said, okay, I stopped breaking. So it was a period where I really pushed myself into hip hop and popping and locking and different styles. And then the year after, boom, the other knee because the compensation. So I broke the other knee, the other meniscus. So it was like for at least 2 years, I was always, for at least 3 years, I will say from around 2003 to 2005, I was always in pain, you know.
Damn. Then you have to have some fire to keep going. Because I mean, like, if you in, somewhere along years of injuries, you must ask yourself, like, is this really for me? Like, am I doing the right
Exactly.
element of hip hop?
That was really that, you know. And actually, you know, and I don't know, it was funny because every time I was ending up with with sharks. And it was funny because we were like doing again this same theater show, and it was like after my injury on my hand. And I was like practicing hip hop with him on the side. And we start to talk, and he said like, he asked me like, oh, what you want to do like in this next year and stuff. I say, I'm gonna be good as you, and I'm gonna go to the Juste Debout, and I'm gonna represent, you know. It was like the third edition of Juste Debout, so 2003, 2004 exactly. That was 2004, and I said like, I'm gonna go there. And um and that was nice because at that moment you had like my teacher, that P Fly, that asked me like, oh, do you want to join the Just Debout with me? And I was like so blessed because my teacher is asking me to do Just Debout with him. That was just crazy. And I said like, okay, let's go, we're gonna represent. And that was like also one of the motivation, you know what I mean? So behind this curtain on this theater show with my friend Shark, I said like, I'm gonna kill it. That was this moment I said like, I'm gonna kill it. Doesn't matter what pain, whatever. I'm gonna find a way. And you know, I just went from breaking I just went from breaking to stand up dance, from stand up dance to hip hop slash house, and I just didn't stop since then. You know.
Wow, it's crazy. Like when I think about how much amount of rehab you must have been doing in order to like get back, I can't even imagine. Like what would you say like you learned from that? Like how are you training now before battles and tours or workshops?
Whatever.
How do you keep up?
So, uh, through like all those injuries, surgeries, pain, and stuff, I had the chance to have like one guy called Dimitri was like taking care of me. Was like doing, I don't know how you call it in Sweden. Maybe naprapat, the same as in Norway. Okay, it's naprapat. So yes, so he's like osteopath for France and in English. So it was like really taking care of many different side of my body. He was so into his work and so dedicated that he also practiced on what we say the structure of the body, but also on the emotional side, you know. So everything that he was like working on me for me to feel no pain, or to rehabilitate, or to practice to make the rehabilitation better, or the massage that he was doing, he was always at the same time like kind of the psychologue that was like saying like, okay, now you need to release not just the pain of your body, but also the pain that you have in your brain,
Mhm.
and in your mind. So it really helped me to make this research on how to be in balance between the mind and the body, you know. And then it's like kind of coming back to martial art, but it was like really like finding the balance between the mind and the body. And since then, after all those surgery, all those pain and yeah, all those injuries, uh I really relearn how to practice. I really relearn how to take care of myself, and I just restructure myself like completely.
Mm.
My dance
Wow.
too as well, this in the same way, right? Dance too as well. So it was like trying to not go too much against the body. Even I wanted to do like crazy move or whatever, but like trying to always find a way to keep on doing those crazy moves, but like being in line with the structure of the body.
Yeah, going with the body instead of
Exactly.
fighting against. Yeah.
Exactly.
Like you have been winning some of the world's biggest competitions. Like a lot of athletes are normally training like sports psychologists or like mindset training. How do you prepare? Like when you need to give like a huge achievement, or how do you train your mind, or do you have any routines that you're doing before you go into that stage? Or
So one of the biggest practice I will say, it was like it was the club for me and my friend. The club was like the first practice. Like I told you, the thing with Babson and Yuxon and Wanted and stuff, and the June. That was like kind of for a long period. That was like our everyday practice. That's when I start breaking with my friend at the end of every practice. We were always battling each other. Doesn't matter. It was not having like big competition at that time. I mean, it was just like we need to push ourselves. So that was like the first thing that we were doing. Then after, if it was party, we end up in front of whatever the name is, could be this guy or this guy. And if we have to enter the cipher, even we're like scary as shit, because we are young. We say like we cannot give up, we have to go full out. And that was like this, like every of my practice, every time I was like going out to dance with my friend and stuff. I remember because one of my big partner in dance was like two of my big partners in dance was like IC and D when I start. IC, the first time we met each other was like in a club, and it's like this that we connect, and we were just like getting down and going crazy like on each other. And with my friend D was like exactly the same. Every time we had this club called the Millionaire. Yes, baby. The Millionaire, where we were like just the same. We enter like really fresh clothes, and we end up like poor because we were like full of sweat and dirty. You know what I
oh,
mean? So that was like the scene. Like every moment was like a way to push ourselves. Ever we were going having fun and just partying, but we were pushing ourselves like at every moment. So I felt that was like kind of it was already a mental preparation, because we knew that we were able to push ourselves all the time. You know what I mean? So when we go on
yeah.
the stage, the biggest fear I will say, like, oh, the biggest preparation that we will have, like, because the stage was like different, it was like more about like finding a way to enter back in ourselves. Take this deep breath before to go or before to do whatever. Try to be connect with our best friend, the music. Center ourselves exactly. Listen to the music, and if it was like crew battle, if it was like team battle, if it was like a showcase, we know that we had the back of each other. So the last uh, I would say preparation was like to say to each other that if we are there, it's not for nothing. So now we go for it. You know what I mean? And we have
Mm.
our back. We have the back of each other. So let's do it together.
Wow. That's crazy. And it definitely paid off. Like, to find that a lot of people are talking about the flow state when you
Like
don't maybe
on time.
remember what you just did. You
Like
just go in and you're just completely in the moment. So it's really, really cool to hear about that. Yeah. Yeah.
Before we go back into this episode, I want to take the time to shout out this episode's sponsors, Be Fit and Sensual. I have been working with Be Fit and Sensual's Dancers Bootcamp online program for a while now, and I know from first-hand experience that it works. So what is Be Fit and Sensual except worldwide coaching individually one by one? Well, it's also Dancers Bootcamp Online. Now, listen up to this. Dancers Bootcamp Online is the #1 world platform for us dancers who want to train dance specific with easy follow-along videos. Not only do you have tons of workout videos inside Dancers Bootcamp Online, but you also become a part of this global movement and community with like-minded dancers whose goal is to become better each and every day. Not only do you have weekly updated schedules, For the ones who want help to build their own workout routine, you also have 2 full 30-day challenges with dance-specific workouts only. Then you have different sections focused on different parts of the body. Let me tell you some examples. You have the abdominal section, Bachata booty section, nutrition guidance, dancer's mastermind if you really want to get into master your own mind, and also stretching for dancers, flexibility, knee rehab for dancers, and kettlebell flow for dancers. On top of all this, you also have weekly webinars and live workouts with Coach Sebastian, and you get a free coaching call with the team whenever you feel like you need it. Listen, I would never promote this if I hadn't tried it myself. I tell you, throughout Corona, this has been a lifesaver for me as a dancer when I couldn't go to classes or anything else. And I truly support the dance-specific training that Sebastian and the team of BeFit Essential are doing. So if this sounds good to you, it's getting even better because we have our own promo code. When you are writing in a live story in one word, ALIVE story in one word, you now get 25% discount on the monthly membership as long as you stay. You can cancel whenever you want and there's no startup fee or hidden costs. So if you have any other questions about training or nutrition, never hesitate to reach out to Sebastian at his social media for personal guidance. By dancers, for dancers.
You could have stopped there, like you could have been good with just teaching and battling all of that, but then you also decided to organize. It's like you didn't have enough things to do, so you also decided to organize hyper week dance camp that has been going on for more than 10 years.
Yeah, more than 10 years now.
I saw a video of you after the 2018 edition when you and Patrick, I think,
Yes, yes, exactly.
is sitting and you look exhausted. Like, is tiredness on another level. You just looking at each other and like, we did it, man, we did it, and we're exhausted and we're happy. What has been some of your biggest learning moments after organizing something for 10 plus years? What is some of the biggest thing you learned about yourself?
The biggest thing is to let other people do your work. To not try to do everything yourself because then you end up like us on the video, you know. But that was really like because at the starts it was my friend Christina that said like that would be nice if we organize like something like that, and we decide to when we decide to do it. At the first I was not completely part of I was part of the process, but I was not completely part of the team because I was still like the teacher just giving like some advice and stuff. And then after she asked us to me and Feist to be like the artistic director of the event, and we really try to take this role serious and push it to another level. Uh, but yeah, the start was like really like I don't know, like every time we were saying like, okay, what we could do for the graphic of the or the design for the this new edition or whatever. And I was like going back to my room because I had like this degree in art, so I was doing some flyers and stuff like that. And then I would say, okay, what selection of the music? I say like, yes, I get some music. Yeah, I can give this to the DJ. And then I was making selection of music and stuff for different part of the event. Then arrived there, it's like, okay, who can take the mic? I was like, yeah, I can host and stuff. And so I was like starting to host, and that was just going crazy, cleaning the floor. Then after we say, oh, we have our drive license. Okay, let's take the t-shirt from the airport and to say hi at the same time and taking care of. It was like really, it was so exhausting that you had this year. Because I was also with everything that I just said now, like also organizing the parties and stuff like that. I was like also teaching, so it was like almost non-stop, And you had this day that it was like so much, and the team was not so big at that period, that I ended up at the hospital actually. I ended up at the hospital because it was so hot. I was sweating a lot, not so much sleep, and I ended up in the hospital because my how do you call that? Uh, I forgot the name. My potassium level, the salt in the body, was really, the sodium and the potassium was really low, and it's like I was drinking a lot of water, but since I was sweating a lot, I just been washed out, so my muscle just cramp, and then I end up in the hospital. So after that, I was like, okay, it was the time to try to expand the team, have more people working together, and also me just say like, okay, I cannot do everything, just leave to the other, and really, really help. And it makes things work even better for after, because we could like give like more energy when we had to do, like, for example, the parties, or when we were teaching, and just to take care of the people in general, instead of being like tired like most of the time, and just always try to search, like, the fire inside, the last energy for each day. So yeah.
The golden word that we learned after many events is outsource. Outsource. Yeah. You're not the first one that I heard of ending up in a hospital. There are like a lot of organizers that are going through that because you just want it to be perfect and you want
Yes,
the best, and
exactly.
it comes from a good place, but you're really realizing that nobody's gonna be good of me burning out.
Exactly. So better to all do that like as a really teamwork, and it's okay. If one thing doesn't go as well as you think, sometimes people around they don't even see it. It's just you because you know it, but people around don't see, they just see like the full result and not necessarily like all the details. So at the end of the day, yeah, if you were there like for all those 10 years and plus, uh, yeah, is that because everyone did great job actually, no
Oh,
matter what.
that's so. And I mean, somewhere along the line, you decided to. You've been traveling all over the world. You've been to China, you've been to Vietnam, you've been all over. But somewhere along the line, you decided to move to Oslo. Uh,
Ta-da!
that is a very different country. I mean, it is in Europe, and a lot of people that don't live in Europe thinks, France, you Oslo, Norway, it's the
Yes,
same.
it's the same. Not
But
really.
it's really not. It's really not. Scandinavian countries has like its own culture and its
Yes,
own way of
that's true.
feeling, which is not so much in your face as French
Uh-huh.
people. Yeah. So how has it impacted you to move and settle down in Norway?
So the thing is that, in the first time when I came to Denmark, I already felt like, oh, this place is pretty cool actually. But then after, in 2000, when was wait, when was it when we, I think it was 2006. Wait, yeah, I think it was 2006. I went to Sweden. I went to Sweden for the first time. Oh no, wait, no, it was earlier than that. I don't know. I think it was like around the same period. So maybe 2005. I think maybe around 2005 was around the same period as Denmark. So after the trip in Denmark, I said like, oh, that would be nice to travel even more. So with my some crewmates, we went to Sweden, and I just fall in love with the place. I was like, that's beautiful. It looks like the Christmas all the time. It was like so cozy. I had this cozy feeling when I was there. Um, and to say the truth, I was younger, so we all felt like all the women were so attractive and stuff. So it was like, oh man, this country is just so nice. And uh and um and then after that, I came to Oslo for the first time in 2006. I just came for holiday to visit one of my friends called Chris. uh and uh and I really fall in love with the place. I was like, I felt this place so cool. I said to my friend, I said, I really see myself living there. And then after, in life with ex-girlfriend and stuff, then I decide to move here. And um and uh and I felt like so welcome and so appreciated that I decided to stay. And the energy, the feeling, everything was so different from France. I felt like it was like a place where I could just, put my guard down, and it felt like really good, because as much as Paris, pushed me up as much as Paris almost put me to close to a breakdown. You know what I mean? So it's not always a good feeling to always be like fighting all the time for whatever you do, even to go in the metro. you know, you know how Paris is, you know. So even to go in the metro, you have to fight. So I was like, no, I felt like when I moved there and moved here, I mean, and I felt that the feeling was completely different. He was like, ah, that was the thing that I need, you know. That was really the thing that I need. So
Yeah.
yeah.
It's funny when you're mentioning, around there, like 2000. And yeah, I think I went to Street Star first time 2007. And
Yes.
then I went 8 and 9. And I was like, I was wondering where all these French people came from. I was like, there are so many French people battling in Street Star, which was great because it really raised the Swedish level. Like
Yes.
the French people coming to Scandinavia was like a shock. And it was like, oh, that's how we need to be on that level if we're gonna compete and travel and stuff. But yeah, I also know that there was a lot of French people who were like, "Oh, Scandinavia, I like the
It's
way."
really nice. Yes, exactly. So, I mean, like we're seeing like about, for example, Joseph Go that went there for so long time too, and also like like when I tell you the vibe was nice. Like now you speak about Street Star for us and for me too. Of course, it was. If we speak about Just the Boo and Street Star, Sweden was one of the best place to be during this world tour. You know, I mean, if you go one time to Germany and stuff like that, of course, it was like always good vibe here and there. But Sweden has like this special thing. I don't know, but it was just every time we love to go to Sweden. We were like pushing ourselves, finding a way to either I don't know, like put some money on the side, finding a job there, like just for the same period, and maybe and then we just went and then get down and we don't wanted the party finish, and it was nice because it was like at something like 3 days or 4 days plus the workshops and stuff with the. So it was just like it was just we were so happy to be there. It was like the second Christmas of of the year, you know.
Yeah,
Let's go Sweden. Ah, no,
yeah. It's
for real.
great. And also Norway, like what I love with Norway is the scene that, Camilla, Vanilla, and all of them has built up. It's just something with the way in Oslo that the community is way more together with like the soul sessions and all of that. So I'm like super proud of the Norwegian community, really. Like it's
But that completely that again something that motivates me because I knew Camila and Matthias since 2004, like first time they came in my class and stuff, and I already felt like, oh, they are a really cool person, you know. And then since then we always stay in contact. They invite me to come to Norway. I stay in their house like for my first time. It was always a good feeling, and really the community that they build here in Norway, I felt I feel that this community is pure, and they had like the good value of hip hop, like we say, with a different struggle, but still they have the good value of hip hop, and they are really supportive to each other. You know, like
yeah.
after being in Paris where you had to fight all the time and coming here where the b-boy are supporting the stand-up dancer, where the stand-up dancer are supporting like the freestyle and the choreography at the same time, everything is like connect. I was like I really felt like in my element. You know,
Yeah.
because I'm kind of like this in France. Sometimes people were saying like, oh, you're too kind, but then I found like this place that I feel like is like kind of the how we call them, the bear care. You know the bear care, the big bear with the heart on the belly.
Yeah.
The care bear or bear care. I forgot the. So I felt like it was like a country like this, and I said, okay, this is something for me. This is a
What I
place.
also what I also love is that I managed to dig up some fantastic videos of sweaty videos of you dancing salsa
Oh,
yeah, on YouTube. And I also know that there is a salsa community in Oslo as well. And I saw that one of your latest projects actually was mixing salsa and hip hop with your
yes,
Flow
yes, yes,
Dance Academy students. Yeah, super dope.
yes. Thank thank you. No, but same like, and the funny thing is that one of the famous place here in Oslo that we call Cafe Sir, and this is the place where we shoot the video. uh, actually is one of my friend that was like organizing the salsa party there, and it's a hip hop dancer too. He called Keskia Patrick, and
We already know
we
Keskia.
know exactly. So yeah, he's the one that was organizing that over there, and when I found the place, I was like, okay, this is the place to be like every Tuesday for me. So, and then
Well,
from that, and even that, like when I told you, like I felt like really welcome in the community here, is that um and I think it's also by because of hip hop too. Because the first time I had this chance to teach like salsa and slash hip hop, like trying to mix both style. It was like because of one guy called Jazzy Ruiz here in Oslo, that gave me the opportunity to really do it. You know what I mean? And and I just came. It was like my first months in Oslo, and just come and say like, man, I know you can do good, so let's just try. So we give the try, and then out of that, also by myself, I decided to do like what we call the bridge, mixing hip hop and salsa, and we decided to organize different party. And then after Keskia, Patrick say like, okay, if you want to start to play at the salsa party, you can do it. So he give me like the opportunity to DJ there, and I just felt that he always been like that since I'm here, like that's people are, and even in general, even these people that I don't know, they are willing to give you the chance. Like, okay, you're able to do something. Okay, show me. And then if it works, it works. If it doesn't work, it doesn't work. But at least you try. We try. You know what I mean? And
yeah.
this is something that I feel sometimes that is missing in France. Like this willing to just give a try. Not just having like first the result and say like, okay, oh, the result is good, okay, then I can like to try something else. But no, let's just try things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this is something that I felt that for the period that I was like living in France was like kind of missing. So
Yeah, I get it. I get it. Well, as a kizomba dancer, we are waiting for you to step in to the kizomba scene too.
I will, like I had a chance to play a bit like kizomba here and there, and I love
Yeah.
kizomba music, and but big dedicates to DC music. we know. But yeah, I really love kizomba music. I want to dig more into kizomba dance, but I had like this little project that I did with a lot of hip hop dancer. I think you can check it on Childhood Rhythm, or I have like some link on my Instagram, and where I play kizomba music and I make all the dancer like dance on it. They just listen for the one time the track, and they all dance on it. So I can give you the link if you want to check
Well,
it out.
yeah, I have actually, I think I've seen you dance on some kizomba tracks, and
Yes, yes,
it's
yes,
it was a joy. We were all watching because I come from a crew where we're mixing hip hop and kizomba,
yes.
and doing performances and stuff with that. So it was well appreciated. We're just
Oh, thank
waiting,
you.
for you to to step in.
Okay, coming soon.
Yeah. Well, this has been an amazing time talking to you. And in the end of my interviews, I always do something called fill in the blanks. And the
Okay,
hardest part is I start with a sentence and you end with a word or with an end of a sentence. So you have to keep your
okay,
answers really short, but you can answer whatever you want. Okay?
let's do it.
All right. A good hip hop dancer is.
Um, is a dancer that love music and that love hip hop.
Good job. Keeping it short. I love it. Good job. Okay. In battle, I always go in with the feeling of.
That's a good one. Uh, with the feeling of feeling myself.
Good answer. Great. Number three, when I hear a really good song, it makes my body feel.
It makes my body feel good, crazy, and smiley.
Awesome. Number four,
Yes.
my daughter has taught me.
My daughter has told me uh, the unconditional love. The
Oh.
real, she's like, yeah, the real unconditional love. I swear
Uh,
you don't understand that until that you have a kid. Like
yeah.
really,
Yeah.
you can touch it, but when you see it like clearly physically, and it's just crazy. Yeah,
Yeah. This is the what you're gonna give after, in the world. This is, you
definitely.
have to gonna pass on everything to her. She has a lot to learn, so all right, number 5. I learned something very important when I traveled to
When I traveled to Philippines
with the Hip Hop for Hope
with hip hop for
project.
hope, yeah, definitely. I learned like how actually I learned many different things, of course, but I also learned one thing is that we don't understand like the power and the value of the hip hop culture. And going into Philippines and in a place where I felt that oh we cannot just come with dance move and music there. They need like more than that, but they also taught us that um, even they live for some of them it's not all Philippine of course, but for the place where we were like in the suburb or the uh, uh, how I call it I had the name in French coming but not the name in English, but uh,
In the more challenging parts. Yeah.
yeah, let's call it like that. In more challenging parts, we learn like from the kids that if you just come and you bring a smile and you respect the people and you just share on the same level, whatever you have to bring in, it will be like always appreciated. And we can learn that we can give so much food for the soul uh, by by being like um, by opening our soul to them. So that was like yeah, that was a place where I learned a lot about that and how powerful like what we are doing like through educating, through exchanging, through seeing people, not just like hey, but like really seeing people through the body, through the voice, through the speaking, like how powerful is it, and it's important to be like really aware of it and taking it seriously.
Yeah. I love to see that somebody made you a movie where they called you Bob Marley.
Damn, they did it. Yes, yes.
Because even though it's, yeah, of course, like there's a stereotype and whatever, but for the world, Bob Marley is like the love revolution. So for them to call you like that is also a sign of,
Of
like,
course, yes.
this is the closest to a Bob Marley that they will maybe ever meet. So I
Yeah.
loved it. I loved it. Shout out, Marley.
Thank you.
All right, next one. I wish that everyone knew.
uh, I wish that everyone knew what is love. And why I say that, maybe so for some people it can sound cheesy, but I've been to some place and where after a class, depending of what type of class we did, but after some class, people were like coming to ask me like this question, what is love? What is love for me? What is the self love? So the, yes, I wish that everybody knew and understand what is love. You know what I mean? Because it's not just a word; is action, and action that we need to take every day for ourselves. Because is where it starts. If you say to somebody, "I love you," the first thing that come is yourself. And if you're not able to love yourself, you're not going to be able to love anyone. So this is this is the thing that I wish like everybody knew and understand.
Beautiful. If I have a bad day, I always try.
If I had a bad day, I always try. Some good food.
Oh, we have a foodie in the house. I recognize.
I always try some good food. Or I cook myself, or I go out and try something, or a good piece of chocolate. Like, yeah, most of the time it's something like that.
I love it. I love it. I sign up. I'm guilty for that too. I get inspired by.
By everything and nothing. By
Poetic.
everything and nothing. Everything, because, like I say, everything that surround us can be like a source of inspiration, and nothing because at some point you need to also be able to go back to yourself, listen to the silence, and just process whatever is coming through your mind and just accept it. Not expecting whatever, just accept what is coming. So, yeah, through everything and nothing.
Ah, that's beautiful. All right, the last one. One of my biggest dream is still.
Ta-da-da! One of my biggest dream is still, and because I think now it's gonna be only a dream, to meet Michael Jackson.
Oh.
Coming soon, but not okay. Yeah.
Oh, thank you so much, Niako. In the end of my interviews, I always give the mic to my guest. Is there, where can we find you? Is there projects that we should follow? Is there anyone you want to love bomb? The mic is yours.
Okay, so where you can find me? But now I'm in Oslo, based in Oslo. You can find me like in the studio Substance. For everyone that's in this crazy time want to keep going and do like some exchange cipher or whatever, I'm still like also teaching some online class where sometimes we organize some session too also. In the meantime, you can of course follow us on follow me on Instagram. You can follow the Hyper Week, of course, on Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. And big love. I will just send a big love, but big love for all my Swedish, my Scandinavian. They know it already. All my crew, Legionix. Even is hard to see each other in this period, but I have much love for all of you guys. And yes, of course, like all the people that I love, but I told them like pretty much here and there every day, so they receive like a heart on their text message. So I love you guys. And a special one for my crew with who I start to dance, the crew from Renoir, the school Renoir, Asie, ASU. I love you guys. And yes, we keep going. Let's keep the head straight even in this crazy time. And to everybody, yes, stay active. Okay. So keep on creating, stay active, and of course stay safe. And I'm sure we're gonna always like find some way to see each other. We're gonna always find like some ways to do stuff. So don't give up. Even the time is crazy, I know we can survive it. And yeah, like we say, hip hop come from a struggle, and now we're all on the same level. So boom. Let's keep growing.
Boom! And if people are not, if people have not had enough of your voice so far, they can tune into Hyper Week talk show where you are
Exactly.
interviewing hip hop dancers.
Make
So yeah, shout out to Hyper
it
Week talk
funny,
show
make
as
it
well.
exactly serious and funny. So thank you.
Thank you so much.
Well, no, it's tusen tack.
Tusen
No, so
tack.
no, Sweden, sorry, tack så mycket.
Tack så mycket. Don't forget to click subscribe, comment below, and give us a rating or review. We have a Facebook page, YouTube page, and we are on Spotify, Google Podcasts, iTunes, and all the other podcast platforms. We also have an Instagram, so don't forget to tag us in your favorite episode and share it with the world because we read all of it.